New to Medical Device Sales Meetup in Scottsdale, Arizona, May 4th. So this is going to be an event where you can come, you can learn from people inside the industry, teaching you how to break into medical device sales, as well as how to actually perform once you're inside the industry. This event's not only going to be for people who are trying to break into medical device sales, but for people who are already in medical device sales. A bunch of different speakers, as well as having the opportunity of having people we've helped break into medical device sales come, introduce themselves, speak, because they're going to be able to share their experiences of what it was like to break in and also what it's like as their experience inside medical device sales. This is also going to be a time not only to learn, but to also network. Like I said, we're going to have people inside the industry, but we're also going to have people outside the industry trying to get inside of medical device sales. And this is a great time to make those connections that will continue to grow throughout the next several years in your career in medical device sales. Here at New to Medical Device Sales, community is massive for us. And I want to continue to give back to that community, continue to grow and put back into you all, and just say thank you from the bottom of our hearts. I'm really looking forward to seeing you in Scottsdale on May 4th for the New to Medical Device Sales Meetup. Click the link below.
Welcome back to First Year in Medical Device Sales. I am your host, Jacob McLaughlin, and I wanted to take a moment to just say thank you to all of the new listeners and to everyone who's been reaching out and just sending us messages of how helpful it's been. Just really appreciate the support. I'm so glad it has been helpful for you all. And I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, because it's always fun to just watch you all have success. It's truly why I do everything I do, is I just love watching other people win. So it's been so much fun, but I appreciate the messages. So I wanted to make one that can be extremely helpful for you all, because this is something very common that comes up, and it was something I was able to do with my career. And it's how to fast track your career in medical device sales. So no matter if you're an associate rep trying to get to a full line rep or a full line rep trying to get to a regional manager, whatever it's going to be, I wanted to just take a moment on how you're able to do that in medical device sales. Again, if you guys don't know, I skipped the associate, went right in as a full line rep, took the lowest performing to top 10 at Medtronic, and then from there went and was a regional sales manager, ran the whole Western United States for Innovis Medical. And so the reason I'm just telling you guys this is I was able to do it in my own life. I was able to do it in my own career. I wanted to share some of the tips that I did. For me, being able to fast track my career, number one was learning the job duties that I needed to know in my current role and doing them very well. And you guys might be like, well, duh, Jacob, that just makes sense. But then you'll all look at your coworkers and you'll understand why I just said that is because most people don't do what they actually have to do, and they don't do their job. And it's why people aren't performing, right? Just like there's a lot of reps in medical device sales that are reps, but they don't perform, right? Oh, they're still reps, but they're not doing what they need to every single day, right? So whether it's like the associate sales rep where you need to be running trays, you need to be going collecting trays, you need to be going and helping set up lunches, that you need to be going and be proactive on running cases. And again, you just have to learn the job duty of what you really need to do and do it very well, right? Like associates, it's just being able to understand your whole goal is to be an asset to the team that you're on, to make the TM's life as easy as possible, right? So your job is to actually be thinking ahead. How can I make my territory manager's life as easy as possible? Can I go pick up some trays? Can I go run these trays? Can I go be able to run this case? Can I suggest that I go run this tray? Or can I suggest that I go do this lunch? Or can I suggest that I go ask to, you can see where it goes. It's you being proactive. That's the biggest thing I see in associate sales reps. Territory managers, it's just, again, being able to do your accounts, like be able to be proactive, account management, grow your accounts, do lunches. Like everybody knows the stuff that we're talking about. It's why you guys are in the industry, but it's understanding what you actually have to do, because so many people will be like, oh, they can go do account management, but they don't know how to cold call or prospect, right? Well, if you don't know how to do those things, you need to learn how to do them. That's one of the biggest things is whatever your job that you're currently in, you need to know what you actually need to do in it. And this can be a simple talk of like who your regional manager is like, what are you looking for? What is going to help me excel? What is going to help me move up? I want to be the best top performer. They're probably going to just be like, do A, B, C, D. That's great. That's why you guys want to be able to talk with someone, but understand what you need to do in your current role. The second point to that is now you need to be able to do the role that you're about to go into. So for example, if you're an associate, but you want to go be a territory manager, know what's going to help you is if you know how to prospect and you know how to run lunches. That's where you can ask your team if you could go run a couple on your own, because then when you're going in an interview and they're like, oh, you don't know how to do A, B, C, you can actually be like, hey, I actually did this, right? If you're also an associate and you can show how you helped grow a territory, you can actually put that on your resume, show numbers, show growth, and show what you contributed to, because that's what they're looking for in a territory manager, right? Same thing with a territory manager. When they see what you've done as a TM, being able to, grow sales, be able to turn accounts over or whatever it's going to be in your territory. But what's the job of a regional sales manager? It's going to be coaching people, right? So if you're working with associate sales reps, you could talk about who you've worked with, how you've been able to grow them. You can go into your accounts, be able to show how many meetings you've done. You can be able to show your in-services. You could show there's these stuff that they're looking for, that they want to see, that you would be able, if they put you in the next position, that you could crush it. Number one is learning the current job role that you're supposed to do. Number two is learning the next job role that you want to get to, and then actually incorporate and show that you can do that in your current role. So when you go to make that jump, it actually can happen and they can see the correlation, and you can actually show that, because they'll tell you, you can't do this or you haven't done this. And you can actually say, well, I appreciate you saying that, but I actually have, and I can show you A, B, and C. It just won't be the exact thing they're looking at. No different than when I was a personal trainer trying to break into med device sales. You don't have sales experience. Well, I actually did, but it's not the sales experience you're looking for. So let me make it make sense. Okay. So that's how you can look at it. Number three, this is going to be a massive one. Stop waiting for it to happen. The reason I'm saying that, if you come into it, you're an associate, everyone's going to tell you, hey, it usually takes about 2 years, right? Go be a territory manager. How long before you're a regional manager? Well, or a district manager? Well, it usually takes, 5 to 7 years. You got to perform at this much and do it. Then what happens is then I watch people take the slow and steady, and then they're not actually progressing. And then, like, for example, when I was at Medtronic, my favorite part was I was crushing it. I was running at over 130% to plan. I had all these reps being like, stop it. You're going to screw yourself for next year. You're going to do all this stuff. And what people didn't understand is I never came into a place to be like, I have to be married to this place for 10 years. I was going to be the top performer, and I was going to go do the best that I could. And then every single year, I think everyone should be smart of like, you should interview with somewhere every year. Why? If the company you're with is truly the best and they're paying you the great salary, or they're giving you great compensation, and they give you the great support that you need, and you're very happy with them, guess what you'll never do? Leave. But what happens when you're in med device sales and you're making $120,000 and you go interview with a company that's paying $185,000? Well, this company that's paying $120,000 might be like, well, we're the best, we'll do this stuff, but they ain't showing it. Because if the going price in the market is $185,000 for a rep, well, then why are they paying you under $60,000? Well, because they have you, right? And this is why I'm just saying is this is what most people don't do, because again, I'll hear, I'm loyal. That's great. Like, you can be loyal, but what happens when you being loyal is your company taking advantage of you? And that's what people don't think about, because again, you can all talk to people who've worked at places for 20 years, and over the 20 years, they made an extra $10,000 a year. Like, they got less than 1% or a 2% raise per year. But you can literally go to another position and make way more. You should be going as hard as you can. People will continue to be like, no, slow down, slow down, slow down. That's not going to help you progress in the career. Now, if you're sitting here say, Jake, I'm just trying to be a rep for the next 10 years, that's a different conversation. But if you're trying to say, hey, I'm an associate, I want to be a TM in the next 12 months, you gotta hustle. Same thing. If you're a territory manager and you're like, I want to be a regional manager, but I don't want to wait 7 years, you got to go hustle. You got to go show it. And that's how you fast track it. And the last thing I'll say is this is the most important. Number 4 is the most important thing to do to fast track your career. Go find a mentor. Go find somebody who's where you want to be. Because what I'll sit here and tell you is so many people you guys will all go talk to. We'll talk to the rep. We all know Jerry or whoever it is who's been in for 15 years, who's going to give you their advice, and they're doing this stuff. Jerry probably gives really great advice and is an awesome rep and makes a lot of money in med device. That's awesome. But guess what? You're not. You're not Jerry. You're not 15 years experience in there. You're 1 or 2 years experience in. The reason I'm just saying that is if they're just continuing to say, hey, take it slow, take it slow, take it slow, take it slow, that's great if you're trying to take it slow and be in for 15 years to that place. I always told people, I got into med device sales. I never said I was going to be there for 30 years, right? Like, I always say, I absolutely love it. I love the industry. I love being able to help and make a difference. And it's an amazing industry. But I also didn't say, hey, I'm going to do it for 30 years. And so the reason I'm just saying that is everybody's going to be different. Some people will be like, hey, that's wrong. You should only do it for 20 and all that. That's great. But what I'm just saying is this is a podcast for the people who are trying to fast track it, try to accomplish as much as they can and go after the goals as quickly as possible. And that's going to be going and finding a mentor who's where you want to be, and it can help you progress your career as fast as you want to be. It's always just a challenge when you're going and taking advice from somebody who's like, oh, just slow down, slow down, slow down, which is great. But just so you know, because you'll all be laughing when I say this, every type A personality that you say slow down to makes you just want to go faster, because that was the same to me. Everyone's like, slow down, kid, slow down. You're doing too much. And it was why I was at a higher position than they were in 2 years. And they still weren't there after 5, because I never slowed down, kid. I just kept going. The biggest thing is go find mentors, go find people who are where you want to be or have been in for 15, 20 years, but want to help you progress as fast as possible. Just because they've been in for 15 years, you just have to make sure that the mentor actually knows what they're doing, but also can help you do it. And they want you to do it, instead of being like, hey, Jacob, I think you're great. I think you should sit here for about 3 more years. Because just so you guys know, I talk about this all the time. There was a VP of sales when I was looking and interviewing with another company. And I reached out. I said, hey, I really like your company. I see the opportunity. He's like, you need to stay at Medtronic for another 3 to 5 years. Once you do that, then you can come over. Decided not to listen, went to Innovis. And then after 6 months at Innovis, got the call back. And he's like, hey, your name's come across my desk 6 times. We're looking for a position. Would you be open to it? The same person who told me out of their mouth I needed to wait 3 to 5 years was calling me back 6 months later to offer me a job. Why? Because I wasn't waiting. But they gave me that advice. So the reason I'm just saying that is make sure you're going to ask people that actually want to help progress you as fast as you can, and that you're interested in and that you connect well with. So those are some tips that can help fast track your career in medical device sales. Even though they're very simple, most people overlook them, from just understanding what you actually need to do, the job you're wanting to do. And then, like, again, you're going to get the pressure of like, slow down, don't overperform, don't do this. That's what everybody does. It's just so you guys know, it's what we always talk about. It's the crab in the buckets. Johnny's running at 92%, but you're running at 112. Slow down, kid, because whatever. Why would someone who's losing tell you to slow down? Because it doesn't want to make them feel insecure. It doesn't want to make them feel worse, and it shows that they're not doing it. Again, there's nothing wrong with slowing down if that's where you want to be. But like, a lot of people that are reaching out to me are like, Jacob, I'm trying to do this in the next 2 to 3 years. And a lot of times, if you're trying to do that in 2 to 3 years, you can't really slow down all the time. So hopefully this was helpful. If it was, please share it with somebody. That like and subscribe button really helps us grow this channel. And if you guys are really interested in breaking into medical device sales, or you guys are in the industry, but you want to continue to progress your career, you can feel free to reach out to me at Jacob McLaughlin, new to medical device sales. It's been really funny. I made first year in medical device sales for a lot of reps that are inside the industry, but we have a lot of people who are trying to break into medical device sales. So the reason I just say that is we do have a course that our average person breaks in 8.2 weeks at $94,478. If you guys are really interested, we've had associates join our course that are trying to go in and be full line reps, and they don't want to come in at 100K. They want to come in at 130, 150 and plus, because they actually want to go make the money. Like, we just got one of our guys yesterday who did this exact same thing, and he's now coming in at 185. So he went from being an associate making 70 to now he's a full line rep at 185, instead of, oh, I'm going to go do this and I'm going to come in at 112 and hopefully it works out. It's, again, just understanding how to do it the right way. Hopefully this was helpful. Really appreciate all of you guys. Appreciate the support. Until next time, go after your quota and crush it. Peace.